And back at my favorite spot. What's going on? Imara Ifawuyi here. Find you free. Just wanted to talk a little bit today while I had my drink about this Diddy Cassie thing again, because we went in on it a little bit yesterday. Look, y'all, what's been especially shocking for me is going online and just seeing how many people have turned against Cassie or are trying to basically blame her for the torture and the things that she endured at the hands of Sean Combs. Let's see, let's get into it, cuz I don't know how this video is gonna go because they got the whole music in the background, but hopefully it'll be okay. Anyway, let me get into this, because listen, this whole thing with Cassie and Diddy has been crazy. It has just been very telling, really, because at the end of the day, I mean, we're talking about a young girl who was groomed and manipulated and controlled by way of so many different tactics by a man that was damn near twice her age. And the fact that even basically, just because she's a grown woman now, when it all began, she was a young girl. They started doing the freak offs that I think when she was 22, she'd already been mixed up with him for a couple of years. The fact that that young girl can't even get empathy from your average male, especially brown male. The fact that you can't, that she has now been shamed and blamed not only by men but women for having got herself caught up in a situation that she was having a very hard time disentangling from. And that she can't be shown the same empathy that a woman that has endured long-term domestic violence, or someone who's in a war zone or something like that. The fact that she doesn't garner that empathy is just shocking to me. There's no way in the world you could look at yourself and think about, especially as a woman, and think about, how you were when you came out of your parents' home, and the naivete and the way that you were taken advantage of, because almost every single one of us was worked over by men, taken advantage of, as aid by men, been through everything since childhood up. And to then not have compassion for a young woman who got out in the world, with a lot of dreams and desires to do things, and a vampire basically recognizing that in her and wanting to not only steal her shine and take it from her and basically consume her. And that's what happened. He consumed her. Consumed her on a soul level. He wanted her youth, he wanted her beauty. There was levels of jealousy around it as well, I'm sure, because at the end of the day, I think we all know Holmes, if he could be a woman, he probably would. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally has a preference for men, and we all know that this guy is like a rewards guy, just for a number of reasons, not his preferences. But at the end of the day, she got in there with all these big dreams, and he just consumed her. He just decided he was going to take all that from her, prey on her desires, prey on the things that he knew she wanted to do, the dreams she had, promise her the world, you know what I'm saying? Act like he was going to lay it all on a silver platter for her. And then that was it. She just, for years and years of just dangling the carrot in front of her. Years and years of this. And it's like people, they have all this judgment. The main judgment that I hear is, why did she stay so long? 11 years is a long time to stay in some shit like this. Yeah, hell yeah it is. And and the person that I am, I wouldn't have made it. But you got to think about all the circumstances before you act so judgmental and write people off. I mean, we're talking about young, came into this situation with a thought that she was going to have record deals. This was a person that was controlling her career at this point, right? And then over time, him, kind of coming up with this freak off idea and wanting her to be the main centerpiece of that. And by that point, she's already thinking she's in love with this guy, already kind of captive by him. He's already shown her a lifestyle that she didn't know about until she got with him, of lavishness and, jet setting everywhere you want to go, eating in the best places, staying in the dopest spots, just living loud. And so she's been shown all of that, and then it's like after he's groomed her, got her mind kind of like putty in his hands, then it's like, oh, why don't we try this thing? And so she said she was gonna try this thing. She said she would submit. Isn't that what all the niggas is constantly talking about? We want our women to submit. So she submitted, and the submission now ended up taking her on a long, crazy journey with a maniac that now she's being blamed and shamed and victim blamed for. Even though she submitted, because it just goes back to so much of the things that men say they want, they don't really want, or they're gonna move a goalpost no matter what. Because if you was really wanting submission, then Cassie should be looked at as the ultimate, the best woman that a man could have. Why would she be shamed? Why would she be looked at as anything lesser? She was trying to do anything and everything her man wanted her to do. Basically, it's not like we never seen that before. How many young girls get caught up trying to please and appease? It's called codependency. It's a very common thing for women, especially women who didn't grow up in balanced, healthy households, where they saw, parents who respected each other, who had good boundaries, and who, were always acted from that. Okay, so basically, we don't know what her background was, her home life, or nothing like that, but she came out and the boundaries was off. She was young, her brain wasn't developed. She got caught up, she got wooed, love bombed for a couple of years. Then it's like, let's try this thing. It'll really make me happy if you do this thing for me. So she acquiesced. She did that. It was disgusting, the shit she was doing. The shit he had her doing was the most disgusting things I've ever heard of. But it just show you the levels of codependency that can come about, and entrapment that especially young women can feel with men, particularly when they're powerful and charismatic figures, like Puff Daddy, right? P. Diddy, whatever the hell his name is. So, I just think it's real interesting that she hasn't been shown the empathy or the grace that you would want any woman who is enduring domestic violence, anybody who has gone through that much PTSD, CPTSD, which is even way more even intense in certain ways than regular PTSD, because you're talking about complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So you're talking about the type of thing that leaves you where you feel like you're walking on eggshells every single day of your life. You're constantly on eggshells. You're constantly in a brain fog. You're constantly feeling uneasy, a sense of dread. These are the things that come with the complex PTSD. And if you don't think that a young woman who, was submitting to her man, even though he began, on a rampage of whooping her behind at anything, any little disturbance or upset, and he was smashing on that girl. So you're gonna tell me that there wasn't no CPTSD around that? It's disgusting. What's really disgusting is hearing the women that's talking so terribly about her, and basically it's just the same thing that they have always done. Blamed women for the things that they endure. Blame women for being raped. Blame women for being accosted. Blame women for being molested as children. It's always blame on women. Blame and shame. So not only are you blamed because you're victimized by a motherfucking monster, but you're also shamed for it. So it don't matter. It doesn't matter. No matter what, the whole thing is falling on the head of the female, of the woman, of the girl. You know what I'm saying? And so in this case, it's just really incredible to me, because in every, like when they were interviewing, when she was giving her testimony, Cassie, it was like people was just picking at everything that was coming out. And I'm thinking, damn, to me, it just sounded like a girl that was just caught up in some shit where it was changing her and changing her in ways that were negative. She was still fighting for her life. She was still trying to let this dude know, look, I don't want this lifestyle. I just want to be with you. I just want to have a normal relationship with you. I mean, as normal as it can be with a mogul, you know. I just want me and you, me and you. And he just literally, nah, let's keep doing this thing. Let's keep doing this thing, right? This freak offs and all this nasty ass shit. And then all the abuse that was also tied up in all of that. And to the point where she began to realize that she really was just a SCX worker, you know, in his mind, you know, just something for him to play with, to beat on when he wanted to do whatever he wanted to with. And so, you know, some of the things that came up in the testimony was what I would call reactive abuse. So, you know, for those of you, and I'm sure the vast majority of women who would watch this video have dealt with a narcissist, because most men are pretty much narcissistic. And so they're dealing with that. Most of them are dealing with that. And so, you know, you've probably dealt with narcissists and the reactive abuse that begins to become a part of the relationship as you, you know, kind of you end up taking on a lot of their anger and their energy. So you almost start reflecting back a lot of their characteristics when you're being abused by someone who's a cluster B personality. And so, in that, the reactive abuse is you wilding out, just trying to either defend yourself, or yeah, you might go off and smack them one day just on some, this is what we do, right? This is what you've been doing to me. You've been knocking me in the head, you've been kicking me in the head, you've been kicking me in the stomach, knocking me, you know what I'm saying, knocking me down the steps and all that. This is what we do, right? So it becomes a abusive situation that looks like it's coming from both ends, but at the end of the day, the original victim would have never even thought to been engaging like that had it not been the energetic of that had been established in the relationship by the abuser. So there was points where they would bring up times when she was wailing on him and stuff like that. It sound like reactive abuse. That's what happens when you're in some toxic shit with somebody who's constantly pressing down on you, oppressing you, treating you like an object, acting like they own you, not respecting you. You know what I'm saying? Of course, there's going to be some reaction after a point. We're talking about 11 years this girl endured this shit. So, you know, it's like y'all will find any reason to try to put the blame on a woman for some shit. I'm like, look, a woman has the right to react. She has the right to hit back if she needs to. She has the right to get overwhelmed and freak the fuck out when somebody is treating her less than human. Period. That's on period. I don't want to hear nothing about it. And it's just so stupid. The whole thing with Cassie, even the whole thing with her really is that it sounds like she's been dealing with what you would call trauma bond or Stockholm syndrome. And when you're in a, you know, that goes along with the CPTSD. So when you're dealing with Stockholm, you are trying, or there's something in you where in your survival instinct, you are actually identifying with the person that is oppressing you and trying to destroy you and abusing you. You are identifying with them. You are actually trying to find the good in them. So, you know, people acted so confused because they heard texts in the testimony. There were texts coming out where she was very loving. She was very acquiescing. She was very much like, yeah, let's do the freak offs. Let's do the things, you know. She was doing all that. But what you don't understand is at a point when you're being abused in such an incredible way, when the level of manipulation is as intense as it was in her situation, there's a split that takes place in the mind. And so in your efforts to survive, you're going to be doing anything you can to look like you are on the side of the one that is manipulating, the maniac that you're dealing with, the psychopath. And so she endured like 11 years of trying to deal and appease and make happy a motherfucking psychopath. I mean, wrap your mind around it. It's not even possible. These are beings that can't be satiated. They're insatiable, evil to the core. They lack human traits. You know what I'm saying? You can't satisfy that. And she was trying. So I mean, you got that's a deep thing. So the cognitive dissonance that even comes with the Stockholm and the CPTSD and all the things, the trauma bonding is a deep thing because you on one hand know that what you're dealing with It's horrible. It's not right. You don't deserve this. You know all of these things, but then on the other hand, you're telling yourself you deserve it for some reason, or that this is just it. It's gonna get better. Let me just keep pouring my love in. Let me just keep trying to please him, to make him happy. He'll settle down. Everything's gonna get better. It's typical. It's not nothing new. And the thing is, Cassie's story is only one of the 5 victims that they're supposed to be bringing up to talk about this fool and all the shit he's been doing and why it is like an organized crime situation, as opposed to just him being a domestic violator, right? But Cassie's testimony and the fact that she is continuing to let us know that it became clear to her over time that she was an SEX worker for him. She was working for him. This was her, she was working for him across state lines. That is where the RICO comes in. That is where the organized crime piece comes in. Okay, y'all, people are confused. They think this is just Cassie on trial. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she was a 304. She was out there hoeing. She let niggas, what in her mouth. She was doing all this. No, 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 no. That's not what this is about. It's just that she was one of his workers, and she was one that was one of his workers for a long period of time that he did probably the most damage to. You know what I'm saying? And so we need to understand this thing is serious. What we're talking about, someone who systemically, who has had who had an organization where it was about bringing in young women. There are other women that's about to be coming out, and there's a lot of them that are scared to speak. Women and men. It ain't just a women thing. He having all types of male S workers. They're going to be coming forward and letting us know just how much of an organized criminal situation this was. Okay, I've been following this thing. I've been following it because it's interesting to me, and I studied psychology for years and stuff, so I'm very interested in anything that has to do with cluster B personalities, anything that has to do with abuse over, CPTSD, any of these things, just from coming from what I come from, in the background that I have. And so, people have had a lot of judgment about the cognitive dissonance of those texts and the fact that it wasn't always just her wilding and going off on him and what are you doing? Fuck this. I'm not doing this. No, because it wasn't always that kind of outpouring. Sometimes it was her just trying to get along, go along to get along, trying to be sweet, trying to express herself, but also be acquiescing to everything he wanted so that she wouldn't get her head knocked in. I don't know what people not understanding about how this thing works, especially for a little young. This is a tiny, small woman, young girl, was barely a woman when he met her. I mean, we're talking about like a real victim here. You really can't get more of a victim than this. I mean, it's like, the fact that people want to tell, to try to shame her for all of this and everything she's been through it's kind of gross. It's disgusting. It shows you the kind of world we're in right now, where all of these red pillars are out here rampant, just spewing hatred. They hate women. And and a lot of the men are jumping on that bandwagon because it's just a testimony of the kind of beings they are. They jumping on that band. They hate women. And it was never nothing new. I done been known this since I was a child, that men that on average detest women. And so it's coming out more and more. They will lay with women, they will use women, they usurp their energy, they take your innocence, they do all that, but their hatred is really, really the prominent thing. And so just seeing the reaction to this young woman, just the lack of empathy, it's just been so disturbing. They even had some texts where she was going off. She was acting kind of gangster in the text towards somebody who had some footage of her in a freak off or whatever, who had just let her know, hey, I saw the footage of you, just some nasty ass shit. She's like, already was very scared to have, this porn, this stuff going out around her. She wanted to do music, She had got caught up in this, but she was not trying to be some nasty, girl with, porn and all kind of stuff floating around the internet. So she went off. She reacted really strong. She threatened the dude's life. She went off, and I was like, okay. You know what I mean? With the type of duress and stress that she was under, the levels of how much she had been threatened, and the amount of times that this nigga had told her that he was going to show someone videos of her, that he was threatening her with these different videos that he was going to release to the public. She was on edge about that shit, and she reacted. Anybody will react under that level of stress and duress. That's what I'm trying to say. How come she's not being given the grace and being afforded the same type of kindness that any other victim of anything would? It's just really strange to me. And I think it comes down to, one, a lot of people want to try to attach it to her, or try to say that it has to do with her just wanting to be in the lifestyle, just wanting the money, and so she don't deserve no respect, or she'll do anything, or she would do anything just to be around, famous people like that, to be among them, to get the notoriety, to feel like she's a part of something that's higher echelons. Yeah, there was probably some of that for sure in what she was doing and the reason why she was staying. But what I really picked up on through the testimonies is that more so she had gotten caught up with a very charismatic, powerful man that just had her, he had her under lock and key, he had her in check. And she was just trying to appease him. And when the abuse set in, she didn't know how to get out of there because she knew she was going to get her ass whooped if she stayed. She knew she was going to get her ass whooped if she left, and anything else bad that could happen. And guess what? For the men out there that like to act like it's okay to whoop on a woman, especially if you think she's cheating, or you think this or you think that, someone can die when you beat them, when you kicking them in their heads, when you kicking them in their stomachs, you're talking about how many times did she face the possibility of death by getting her ass whooped by this big dude. How many times, that's trauma, that's major trauma. She had to grapple with the fact that at any point, if he just got on the wrong drugs the wrong way, was sick, acting sicker that day, acting crazier that day, had that demon on him in a different way that day, how possible is it that she would end up taking her last breath, with him wailing on her? So, she went through, that's a whole nother layer and level of terroristic, reality that she was dealing with. I mean, it ain't no question in my mind that this is a seriously victimized person who, sad to say, from her testimony, is not in the clear. So not only is she now being shamed publicly throughout social media because she was naive, because she didn't have, her brain wasn't developed, because she got caught up in something that even grown women are out here getting caught up with, narcissists, psychopaths, getting worked by these men. These men is controlling them. I grew up with a woman, I mean, bless my grandmother, she tried, but 50, 60 years married to a malignant narcissist. This man controlled everything she did. Every word, she couldn't do nothing. Controlled like that for 60 years. And y'all gonna sit here and tell me that this girl, 11 years, when she was a kid, when he got her, don't deserve no kind of empathy for the level. And then, mind you, he was not some broke ass ninja, because half of us be out here letting broke ninjas control and manipulate us. Jacked up ones that you shouldn't even be standing next to. But she's with a dude who have all the notoriety, all the money. He gives her the lifestyle, give her family the lifestyle, all of that. And she don't deserve no kind of sensitivity, some empathy maybe. That's weird, and it is like something that we really need to be checking ourselves about, especially if you're a woman. We expect that from men because they lack empathy in general, mostly. There are some decent ones. There's some guys that I like here on YouTube that they ride out hard, in defense of the disgusting, misogyny that is really, really quite rampant right now in society. But I got to get their names. What is that brother's name? There's one named Shannon, officially Shannon. He don't play. I mean, I really appreciate him. And there's another one. Oh, I know what his name is. Let's see. What is his name? Shit. Well, yeah, I'll get it. It'll come to me. But yeah, so there are some talented, blessed brothers that's out here speaking the truth. But mostly what I'm seeing is like a lot of them are going down that red pill rabbit hole. That red pill rabbit hole because it's easier for them. You know what I mean? They don't have to do any internal work. They can continue to blame women for everything, even for our own victimization, even under the most horrific circumstances, being beat down, being, destroyed mentally, physically, spiritually, and in every way. It's still going to fall, and the onus of that is on the head of the woman for some reason. Because again, why didn't she choose better? like Cassie, why didn't she choose better? Why would she choose the multi-millionaire man that was trying to do everything for her and give her 11 albums and do this and do that and promise her the motherfucking world like he did because he love bombed her for real, a whole nother level of love bombing. Why didn't she choose better? Well, I don't know. You know, as a young girl at 19, who actually was thrust into a business relationship with this person, he basically did a whole usurp of her, just straight took her like a coup d'etat type situation, like just took over her life in one fell swoop. She was young. She didn't know the dude she was working with and dealing with basically sold her off to Sean. You know what I'm saying? And that is how she became got in his grasp. And from then it was like she didn't stand a chance, man. Not at all. And that's why I said we really need to be checking ourselves. And if you are around people who don't empathize with the plight and the things that women are enduring out here right now, in terms of being blamed for the things that we're dealing with and that we have to encounter, and then also want to shame you and call you a 304 and call you this, call you that. If you get S8, it's your fault. Anything that happens, it's your fault. If you are around people like that, you probably need to clear them because they don't got no kind of love for you. And a lot of these beings out here, they don't have love for us as women. We pretty much are like, especially as sisters, on our own in a certain type of way right now. And that's why it's really important. I think that we consider these situations like Cassie. We didn't. Everybody's got their eyes peeled to this because it's very interesting and it's been very telling and it's showing us just where society is at right now. How men immediately jump on the bandwagon of castigating her, trying to tear her down. And mind you, this is a woman who's about to give birth. So she's exposed herself to all this horror. She's had to recount and re-victimize herself in testimony with people tweeting out every word she's saying out to the general public. Though she is undergoing duress I couldn't even fathom. I hope that she has a healthy birth because with what she's dealing with, all of the toxin that her unborn baby has been having to have rained upon that fetus at this time by just even having recount all of this stuff. But she's not a victim though. She's just a 304. I don't give a damn what a woman has even done in the past. She still doesn't deserve to be considered worthless or not worthy of respect, not worthy of kindness, not worthy of just general humanity, like, a humane engagement with other people just because of whatever she may have been doing in her past. It's craziness. This is crazy. And so for me right now, I just say with this whole Cassie thing, she wasn't even a good enough. She ain't even doing the victim thing right. Okay, that is not even good enough. While she was in survival mode, fighting for her life for 11 years, fighting for her life, every time. Oh, and the other people, well, why didn't she left sometimes. Why didn't she just stay away? Why didn't she just stay away? And now when you go back and look at the testimony, there's countless times when she had tried to get away, when she had tried to move on and get away from what she was dealing with. And he would send his henchmen, he would send his peoples, he would send his security. He would have them calling her, then Christina Corums and all these devils that was working for him, calling her, well, if you don't come back, it's going to be a problem. All of that, threatening her life. She was supposed to go where? To do what? With who? Go to her family's house so then he could send people in to deal with her and her whole family. Where was she going to go? You know what I'm saying? Y'all not really understanding the seriousness of this. And it's really sad because trafficking is not just a celebrity thing. It's a real thing. And it's happening all over the place right now. And I, have my own stories from when I was a child because it's not a new phenomenon. And having been in foster care and the different things that I went through with my own mother in terms of having been trafficked. So y'all have no idea. You do not understand the level of victimization that this is, and the fact that she's not going to, there's no chance of any real recovery all the way. All you can do is try to go along to get along and try to make your day by day better than, your past was. You do the CPTSD. I don't care how much psychotherapy you do. You know what I'm saying? You could do ayahuasca, you could do all the things. That trauma is there. And that trauma gets passed on to the children. And so I feel for her, and now being shamed and blamed and all of that, that's a double whammy. So, and then she's also got to maintain her relationships. She's got a husband. We don't know. I would assume that he knew all the details of everything that was going on in her past, and you have been prepared for the horror of the actual testimony and the court trial, but we don't know. So, you don't know how that's going to be impacted for her. She said she had at one point was just going to walk in traffic. She asked her husband, hey, can you take care of the children? Can you please just take care, make sure you take care of the children. They'll be fine with you. I'm ready to get out of here. Because it's, so while she's not a victim, she's ready to walk into traffic, and everybody's just, just acting like it's nothing, like it's on her. A young girl that got caught up. I'm torn on this. Yes, she's a victim, Steve, but yes, she wanted to be with that piece of shit dude. Yeah, and it's true. Yes, women do choose to be with piece of shit men. I have done it. I've done it a few times. But, when you come from a household and a background where you saw only domestic violence, where you wasn't raised to understand boundaries, you weren't taught how to judge and how to assess who is decent, who is a decent partner. Women are not, a lot of us are not being trained on that, man. We're not being taught that. We either come from toxic households already, and when we get out in the world, we're either trying to redo and recreate what we saw in our household, or at the end of the day, we just on some dumb shit for many years until we figure it out. And you gotta bop around, stumble around, end up in toxic situations, learn that ain't it, this ain't it, that ain't it. But you cannot blame no young girl for not being able to get from the grips of a multimillionaire mogul who was almost twice her age. You cannot put that on a girl. There's just no way that can be put on that girl. And she's a grown woman now, and she stayed a long time. But man, her youthhood was destroyed. Destroyed. She ain't gonna come back from this all the way. My mom went through a lot with my stepdad when I was a child. Oh yeah, sis. I've seen it all. I grew up with a malignant narcissist male. Once I come out of foster care, having been trafficked and all that other shit, then I went to live with my own grandparents, and they was crazy. So, I've seen it all. I done seen all the domestic shit. So I'm like, the stuff that women go through, the stuff that children go through, is just real sad. Yeah, man, that's my background. I don't talk about my stuff on YouTube much, even though I've been on here for years, but that's what I come from, so it's like I be on here talking, and I talk to the men, and I let y'all know that we're at the point now where I'm just telling my daughters and any young women that I come across to just leave y'all alone, because it's too much torture. It's too much hell that we have to endure to also be blamed for the hell. So not only are we the victims, but we also the ones that have to take on all the shame and be blamed for our own torment. It's too much. It's got to be too much. My daughter's 20 years old. I don't know. I tell her if she gonna deal with a man, she better move with extreme caution. Extreme caution. I wouldn't even really do it. That's my daughter. I don't promote her to have children. Nothing like that. We don't live in that kind of world where it's safe for women to be out here engaging with men really, or having children with them, especially brown women. So, this is the kind of sad thing we're setting up, and then to hear just how insensitive everyone has been about Cassie, brown or not, whatever she is, I don't care. Whatever mix up thing she is. She's a woman, and she's got children, and she probably always wanted to be a mother, and then she deserves respect. And I don't care if she got caught up by the glitz and the glamour. She was still a young girl. It goes both ways. I haven't dated for, yeah, it does go both ways. As far as I can tell right now, we have no business reproducing with each other or dealing with each other, especially us, our people. As far as I can tell at this time, the way things are looking, it's nothing good is coming from this. Every once in a while, we'll get it, obviously great people that affect society in a really positive way are coming forward, but mostly what I see is toxin. I'm not sure how black people are engaging in a healthy way. I don't see it, and it's mostly across the board. So yeah, man. That's what it is, you guys. I feel for that sister. I'm looking forward to this week to see what happens. I know Donna Richard did a short, brief testimony on Friday. I knew she was going to bring that heat, beautiful New Orleans woman, was going to bring that heat even in her short testimony. I think she really kind of nailed it home, not only the level of horror that Sean Combs was promoting in his environment at all times, but also hoping that we're going to unveil more of the aspect of the RICO and the piece that is the organized business piece. That's what needs to come forward. That's what he's on trial for. Money's a heavy hitter. Come on now. If you could, now I don't think Cassie came from no kind of poverty situation. I think she's from Connecticut. She probably come from some middle class background. But you come into this thing where someone's love bombing you. You are amazing. I'm about to make you a star. You know the energy they come with. These are record execs people. You about to be a star. I'm gonna sign you for 10 albums. And then on top of that, you're also the apple of my eye. I want to be with you. I'm gonna take care of you. Let me put you up in a house. Let me do this for you. You're a young girl in New York City trying to make it, trying to make your music happen. You already got it popping a little bit. She was never no incredible artist, but I think her beauty got her a long way. Sorry, the Brazilians in here, they loud. Y'all, I live in Brazil. The Brazilians is up in here. Look at this beautiful place, gorgeous coffee shop I'm in. But yeah, thank you, Steve. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for expressing humanity, because a lot of the brothers have not been doing that. So we appreciate the ones that do. Yeah, good people have to fight all the way against people and money. Yeah, it's hard. I highly doubt she was just some turned out, nasty girl, freaky girl that wanted to do everything and was drugged out and all that stuff when he met her. I highly doubt that. Patrice, I feel you though. I've been paying attention to relationship ethics between husband and wife from the motherland. Oh, really? Yeah, I was married. I married an African man. Yeah, but what do you mean more about that? I would like to hear more about. Yeah, Larry. Yeah, I live in Sao Paulo. Me and my kids live in a dope neighborhood in Sao Paulo. We used to live up in Bahia, not inside. I didn't live with my children in Salvador, but I have lived in Salvador. But my children and I live in this area of Bahia called Itacare, so up in the tropics. It was really beautiful, but now we're in Sao Paulo. Yeah, man, it's dope. I give tours down here, do my thing. I work down here. It's a beautiful, beautiful lifestyle. I'm so grateful. But yeah, Patrice, yeah, that's a whole nother dynamic. Different cultures do the whole husband-wife thing differently. For me, I just haven't seen our people. I don't know what it is about this time frame or what's going on the planet right now, but we just can't seem to pull it together. All I see is mostly toxicity in the interactions between men and women. And it's just sad. Hi, Shelly. Thank you, sis. Well, I work in the solar industry. I do tours as well. My background is in holistic health, but I'm mostly centered right now on the work that I do in solar and with tiny homes, and then doing the tours. So I'm always kind of on my entrepreneurial beat. We are offering, cultural tours here in Brazil, city tours of Sao Paulo, and relocation tours for people if they're interested in maybe checking out Brazil as a possible place to jump off to. I know a lot of us have been a little edgy about, whether the U.S. is a good long-term plan. So it is good to look at different places. I have lived internationally, most of my adult life, so I really don't stay in the U.S. I can't stand it there, so I mostly will not stay there. I don't think I've spent more than 3 weeks in the U.S. in the last 9 years. I just don't stay there. But, okay, Somalian, Patrice, interesting. Yeah, I work in the solar industry. I'm very grateful. I work remotely, So it's a blessing. It allows me to live in Brazil, which, the cost of living it's just way better. Me and my children were based on the Virgin Islands. So on St. Croix, based there for about 10 years, but we were also living on Puerto Rico, Jamaica. We came to Brazil during the pandemic. We left. We came back to Brazil. We were in Costa Rica. So we've been living in different spots for the last, 8, 9 years, never. But Brazil's just so peaceful. It's so nice. Sao Paulo, it's just chill. People make money, but still having a good time. There's tons of art everywhere. I've lived in Christiansted. I've lived in Frederiksted. So we were on the Virgin Islands. I love the Virgin Islands. I have a beautiful community there. But unfortunately, that island is pretty much in the dumps, just because unfortunately, it is a colony of the United States. And so it's very much colony lives. There's a very sad reality that people are facing there. The infrastructure, the financial situation, the local government is like beyond, you can't even wrap your mind around how shady and shicey the local government is, how much they steal the money that comes into the island. It's just horrible, super violent, just sad. But I will always miss and love the Virgin Islands. Is he a brother? Is who a brother, Davis? Who are we talking about? Yeah, so yeah, we are here just enjoying life in Brazil, man. It's chill. So here, a lot of people think that, Brazil, you got to especially be around black people and stuff. You have to go up to Bahia, but all of Brazil is mixed. And, it's hella black people here where I'm at. It's so, if you are concerned about coming somewhere and not being able to identify with the population or whatever, this place is so used to us. It's so normal for black people to be everywhere. So it feels so chill and relaxed, for me and my family. How many black brothers on here? And I'm not trolling. I don't know. I'm grateful for everyone that's on, though. Thanks for coming on, y'all. Please put a like on the video if you don't mind. I've been enjoying doing the live streams yesterday. The live stream was on fire, talking about Cassie and all this. I'm not here to convince nobody of nothing, but I have to say we really need to be checking our humanity when we start blaming, a woman who was a young girl for getting caught up with a snake, with a serpent, with a snake in a negative way, because I love snakes. But, with a very, very serpent, reptilian-minded, low-level being that got her through love bombing. Because remember, love bombing involves you portraying something that's not really what you are. And he had the capacity to do it on a level that most of us cannot, because we don't have that wealth, we don't have that influence, we don't have that money. I like snakes. Oh yeah, for sure. But snakes didn't have a negative connotation. That's just a biblical thing. In most societies, snakes have a wonderful connotation. I was born in the year of the snake in Chinese astrology. The Chinese don't look at snakes as negative at all. They look at them as wise, So, oh, what a beautiful dog. But they look at them as wise. And so there's a lot of confusion around the whole snake energy too. But there is another level of it, of that serpent type of more reptilian spirit that you will see on ones that are, low-level people like Sean Combs. They have all the money, all the prestige, everything else, but they're bottom dwellers. They're down in the doldrums. I speak Portuguese, yes. I do speak Portuguese. So yeah, y'all. So this is my little coffee shop today. It's like an indoor-outdoor spot. They do a lot of those here in Brazil. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful time. Yeah, my children and I, we've been here for about a year this time. Then we were here during the pandemic. And then we left from here. We went to Costa Rica for 6 months and was living up in the Fortuna area, up by the volcano. And then we went back to the Virgin Islands for business and was out there for like a year and came back. Ah, thank you, Shelly. I do be right. Yeah, I've been doing a lot. I sing. I'm actually oh, hi, Davis. You're a musician. Yeah, I sing. My daughter plays bass guitar. We used to be in like Latin groups together and stuff. You're a musician. I see where you go in, but uplift the other race and smash the blacks. Everybody not the same, but it seems like instead. I mean, you can look at it like that if you want. I think we've heard and seen enough to know the type of being that Diddy is. I mean, we've all been known about him. I lived in New York City. I go back. The Diddy thing is not a new thing. We've been known what kind of creature that is, okay? So none of this has been a surprise. And at the end of the day, it's just another example of, and it's sad that you guys have to keep bringing up the racial part of it, because for some reason, I don't know why, but brothers think that they could be out here doing the most heinous shit and everybody should be turning a blind eye to that. And it's like nobody's turning a blind eye to this heinous behavior. And a lot of y'all are out here moving real foul, very misogynistic, very hateful, hate women, hate children, hate responsibility. And so again, nobody's turning a blind eye to this stuff. Everybody's looking at it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is right now. Do right. And that's the only thing that black men need to be worried about, is doing right. And don't expect the world to be turning a blind eye to the horror. Okay, y'all are not the only ones that's doing horrible things, but for some reason you think that you should be aided and abetted and enabled in it, and nobody's doing that shit. And that's it. So you guys can talk stuff and say that we're talking shit about black is black against black and black, all of that crap. Nobody, I don't care about that. I'm gonna tell the truth, period. So I'm gonna tell the truth about what's going on, and what's really going on is, that this Diddy being has shown what he was, that he was a corrupt soul. He's been doing the ritual, he's been doing the wickedness for many, many years. We done been known about it before this Cassie shit, before her civil suit, before the criminal trial. Everyone has been known that this is some kind of terrible, terrible warlock, okay? Who's out here usurping energy, snatching souls, crushing souls. He's been doing that. He's been doing satanic ritual. This is nothing new. This is how these people become as powerful as they become, okay? And none of this is brand new. This is not brand new shit. So, I don't care what color his skin is. I do not care. A devil is a devil is a devil, okay? And that's on period. A demon is a demon, period. Walking, like with these entities riding upon them, controlling their actions. There's a lot of them out here. So, yeah, don't care. Don't care about that. I'm going to call out some shit. I don't care what color, what crayon color you are. If it's not right, it needs to get called out. That's all it is. And not to say anyone's perfect either. We all got issues. I mean, Cassie, where could she have learned? There's plenty of things I'm sure she's had to learn about doing things better, having better boundaries, living cleaner, having some kind of self-respect. She had to learn all of the things. Did that take away from her having been victimized, having been completely eviscerated by a man who knew he just had so much more age, power, and knowledge and wisdom over her, and he used that against her? You're a black man. Okay. Hi, Patrice Lumumba. Yeah, I mean, I keep it real. If people don't like it, they don't have to be on here. Ooh, let's get crowded. But I appreciate you saying that, Patrice. I'm just saying, if I don't care what crayon color, I don't care what color your skin is. If you're not right, if you're moving in wickedness, it deserves to be called out. Hi, beautiful. Cute dogs. And that's it. I'm going to get ready to pay because, boy, these Brazilians is coming. They coming. Let me go get my check. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys coming on and sticking with me this long. And the next thing is this week we're gonna have Patrice, not Patrice, but the sister Dawn Richard is coming back on. Oi, posso pagar? Okay, eu pago aqui, tudo bem? Eu voltei. Yeah, so I'm just gonna pay my bill right quick, y'all, and then I'll show you around the neighborhood a little bit. So have any of you been to Brazil before? Have any of you been to Brazil before? Yeah, I'm right about Diddy. He groomed Cassie, then dogged her, but don't blink. No, I'm not blaming all brothers, but I will say that overall, there is an overwhelming circumstance where a lot of y'all are not living right and not doing right. And that's just me saying the truth. And now with this red pill thing, you're using all these excuses of, oh, ciao, ciao. Obrigada você, using excuses and thinking everybody's supposed to be enabling you, but you're not living right. And you're not taking care of your responsibilities and really, really learning how to deal with women and children and other people in a humane way. It's like you guys are going deeper into like a savagery instead of being really real about the fact that women and children should be put ahead of everything first and foremost, because it's like women can't even bring forth the next generation under all this stress and duress that we're having to deal with. You know what I mean? And so this is the thing. And then it's too much expectation for us to be domestic slaves, too much expectation for us to, squash down our own selves to make men feel good, too much expectation that we submit. Cassie submitted. What happened? Why is she not getting no respect right now? She submitted. She did everything that nasty creature wanted her to do. So where's all the, well, you have to submit. Oh, the women aren't submitted. That's why we don't like these modern women. Well, she submitted. The fuck? So how come that's not being respected now? The goalpost is always moving. There's always some shifting thing or some aspiration women are supposed to be running towards in order to be respected and loved and treated in a decent way by men. It's ridiculous. A lot of women is really not even dealing with this no more. Yeah, children, then veterans, then women. Children and women, period. Veterans, if you want to go and fight for one of these nasty countries that ain't got no bearing on nothing real, you could go do that. Veterans ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I respect them for, the suffering that they go through. But no, women and children, period. Women give birth. Women are the ones that uphold the damn society, to keep your household moving, keep everything going, raise your children up, pour their love and their nurturing into everything. Women and children, period. And that is the job of the males, is to protect that and secure that. And y'all got it all the way twisted. And I'm telling you right now, I've lived all over the world and I ain't never seen nothing like what black men are doing. Nowhere else. Other men are not doing that. I live in Brazil. These white men, these Brazilian men, they're taking care of their families, man. They're holding it down. They secure their families. They secure their lives, their societies. They live in a wonderful country that they built to secure their families, to secure their lives. It's just no excuse for it. It's sad. Children, women, then veterans. Yeah, children and women and children. I mean, without protecting and taking care of women, ain't shit gonna pop off in nowhere, nothing. So, I mean, you have to prioritize women. I'm sorry. And then, and so from what I could tell right now, is that mostly, especially black people, have no business even, mating at this point. We just need to really, really do like deep levels of, well, I guess we're just so traumatized that it's just nothing positive is coming forward, really, like talking about these days. There's there are some really phenomenal people that come from us, always have, but it just seems like it's getting worse and worse lately with just the lackadaisical, the desire to be enabled, the overwhelming amount of narcissism, especially among black men. A lot of this stuff is just getting to the point where I don't know how we'll maintain or ever have anything like a community. And God, look at it, we don't have anything to show for nothing, really, not in this part of the world. I mean, in Africa, they have countries that have, rulers that look like us or whatever. It doesn't really mean much because a lot of times they're just puppets. So at the end of the day, we are like really, really behind in society, and it's because of this thing of feeling like, we need to just be, what Chris, what Sinji say, black male identified, but also just, just focus, black male centered, being too centered on babying men, instead of really showing men what their real role is and helping them and pushing them out there to go in and figure that out. so because of all of this centeredness around men who aren't doing right and enabling them and babying them, yeah, we've created a real sad situation for ourselves as a people, you know. Really sad. Donald Trump being the president, yeah, I mean, shit. I don't hook up with guys. I don't care about hooking up with no guys. Like I said earlier in this video, that has not shown to ever have been worth anything. So, you know, ain't nobody hooking up with no guys. My 20-year-old daughter is a beautiful young girl. I tell her, you know, if she wants to date, she can, but she peeps game already, so she ain't running out here chasing no men down and may never deal with no man on no major level. So, you know, and she's only 20. So this is how I'm training my family. I have a son too, and he's getting trained in a certain way too, and that's to not be out here acting like no savage. And that's you know, because I've had to, you know, I married his father, was from Senegal, West Africa, and you know, we were not good together at all. At least he had a little bit more sense about his role as a man, but we just still were not good together. You know, we're cool, but we weren't good together. And so, but you know, certain people can't be around your children a lot when you're trying to raise, especially a boy, to not act like a savage. That's because if you bring misogynistic men around your boy children, they're going to be taking on that energy. So I protect my children. I don't let my son don't be around no random men that's talking about womanizing, that's talking about misogyny, talking about wanting women to be domestic servants in the house and shit, unless they paying them directly for that. You know what I'm saying? Talking, you know, wanting no in-house sex slaves and all this bullshit. My son, my kids ain't gonna be dealing with none of that stuff. My son knows we don't do that around here. Ain't none of that. You gonna do as many chores. You gonna help out as soon as you can start making some money. You gonna do that. My son is almost 14. All of these things, you gotta raise these children to in a reality. I need him to be a man. If I let him be around some of the men that I know, including his own father, I don't know what kind of man he would turn out to be, because he'd be getting all of that horrible mentality that women are lesser, that he needs to be trying to figure out a way to get him a woman or two to oppress and all of that. If I didn't keep him away from certain energies and just really work with my child and tell him the real shit, I don't know what he would turn out to be. And I'm not, if he turned out to be like one of these thugs or one of these kind of savage acting males, he'll never see me again. And that's my child. So yeah. Yeah, nah, yo, we don't play over here. We not raising no beasts. You know, I don't plan on having no son that I ever have to hear about doing no domestic violence, choking up no woman, putting his hands on no woman. Ain't none of that. We don't do that over here. And so it's important right now that we are raising the boys and the girls to be prepared for war, because it's damn near like a freaking war out here. But also just, yeah, my kids are trained martial artists. We out here preparing for the reality of life, you know. Oh, well, I love that. And then Patrice, believe, I would like to see more of that. And I've also come from my own background. But in my experience living in the Caribbean, and maybe it's because I just was living in the Caribbean for many years, the relationship thing was just terrifying. And then my background is that I have rarely ran into any brothers that were doing right. And I know that there are some out here because I hear about them. It's like a unicorn thing. But I just don't see them. I don't see them. Every man I meet out here, I know some brothers out here, they're out here on some passport bro type shit. You know, so even that, they go into other countries looking for women, looking for domestic servants and slaves and shit. Yeah, it's crazy. So, you know, I mean, and that's just the African brothers that's living, the African American brothers that's living out here in Brazil. Literally sex tourism. Just out here on some sex tourism shit. Again, looking for someone to use, looking to be a vampire, looking for somebody to suck on their energy. Never moving with the spirit of wanting to give of themselves in a positive way, or to come into a real union with somebody, or to be in a balance, you know, equanimous
like a good balanced circumstances. Always, let me go over here, see what I can get. Let me see what this woman will do for me. Let me see if she gonna give me her poom poom. She gonna give me this. Or maybe I could stay with her. They wandering around. But listen, these passport bros, oh, they out here. So this is what the brothers, when they leave America, this is what they out here in the world doing. Wandering around looking for women to take advantage of. You know, so it's like, this is all I see. I don't see, these are vampires. These are damn straight vampires. You know what I'm saying? If you can't go and stay focused on yourself and building yourself up in a positive way so that you could have some kind of a coming into union with somebody eventually when you mature enough to do it, some one body, if you can't even, that's not even your plan. You just think you're supposed to be out in the world just sexing, you know, being with whoever you want, doing whatever you want, taking, using. That's all I see with the brothers. That's all I see. I haven't seen anything else. So I hope that I get some examples of something that's doing good, you know, in my lifetime. I hope my children can see it too. Well, honestly, both parties that put God first working together in this world works. Ashe, I agree. Putting a higher power in the center of the thing. Why is it older women always mad at passport bros? I'm not mad. I know some. I'm cool with them too. But they get checked. I know some out here. I live in Brazil. Most of the men I know that are in Brazil and have been living out here longer, it's because they found some woman to take them in. I mean, you know it's bad when you got to come to a country where it's not even as much wealth in that country as where you come from. You're supposed to be the one with the currency, making the currency that has more power, and you come and you got to come stay with a local woman. Somebody who, you know, is probably struggling in their own right in a country where it's much harder to make money and really, you know what I'm saying? You got to come look for a woman in another country, in Colombia, in Brazil. I mean, that's some lowly shit. That's some lowly ass shit. Women, I'm not sure what you mean, Dury, but it's real ironic too, because these dudes be coming out here, not in Brazil. Brazilians are chill. It ain't like when you go up in Colombia, but a lot of them is going into Colombia, getting their asses kidnapped, getting taken up somewhere, robbed, poisoned. I mean, they getting everything. In Rio de Janeiro, which is not that far from where I'm at, that is happening a lot too, a lot. But I'm just saying, you come in, you up in here, your intentions is bad, you're moving with a wicked spirit on you, looking for women to use, you're trying to use women for sex, all these things. You think just because they're exotic, they're going to be in the kitchen half naked cooking for you and giving you sex all the time, and that's your highest aspiration of what you want to do and have with a woman. That's sick. And then get your ass poisoned and that shit crazy, yo. I'm like, yo, these passport bros are a trip. But I just laugh. It's funny to me. No, I love it. I be clowning. I clown them in the face. It's all good. It's hilarious to me. It's laugh worthy. It's pitiful. You know, do for yourself. Get your own shit together. When you come out, come offering something instead of looking to take. Don't be up in here trying to shack up with no local women. That's just ridiculous. If anything, get you a place and at least take a nice local woman in and provide for her. But y'all can't figure that out because you totally switch. Totally upside down, honey. Totally upside down, doing everything in reverse. I mean, you talk about reversal. Basically, y'all need to be the women because y'all want to be taken care of by the women. I don't know. I'm not no age. I done been through hell and back. But I will tell the truth. I do tell the truth, and I don't care. I don't have anyone to impress. I don't give a damn what none of these ninjas think about me. I do not care. So I do tell the truth, and I will say that that passport bro shit is pitiful. Okay, a woman is a woman. Stop this. Oh no, I love women. Women I love. Okay, and not sexually. I'm not a savage like that, thinking about trying to do anything to no woman. I love women. I respect women. That's who I connect with. And some men. I like some men. But yeah, no, no, no. I definitely, what I'm saying, because you obviously don't understand well, is that if you're gonna be out here looking for women in these other countries, come with something to offer. Don't just come down here with $300 and hope you're gonna find some hot, big body Brazilian woman to take you in and take care of you and cook for you and take you into their apartment. I mean, how demeaning to your own self to be the one that's coming from the country that's supposed to have the higher, kind of wealth rate and the currency that has more power on the international circuit, and you come in trying to come and live up under some of these women that's, in abject, like poverty, mostly poverty. Because I mean, the vast majority of people somewhere like a Colombia or a Brazil are in poverty, the vast majority. So it's like, come on, if you're gonna be doing that shit, at least come with something. Don't come down there. A lot of y'all be broke. I know niggas out here right now that's wandering around, ain't got no kind of money, but don't wander down to Brazil and up in here wander around going from woman to woman so to see what woman can take care of them. I know some of these guys because there's only so many African Americans down here. Literally going from one to the next. Don't even speak the language, won't even bother to learn the language, don't even have your own money on lock. Or are there any good, like, I don't know. I haven't seen them, so I don't know. I hear there are some good brothers. I have not seen them. I do not know. I have some brothers that I love. I don't know if I would call them good or bad, but they are decent humans. Some of them, I have some good friends of mine in Zimbabwe, certain ones that I admire. But in terms of the massage, that don't mean they not misogynist, though. That don't mean that they still don't think women are supposed to be servants in their households, unpaid servants. That don't mean that. It has nothing to do with the currency. It has everything to do with the lack of reason of women for them where they are. Whatever it has to do with, because y'all could talk all that reasonable women thing, because there's plenty of reasonable women in the States. Most of them are married and, doing their own thing. But what I'm saying is if you're going to be traveling around the world, don't be a bum. At least come and have something that you can actually offer to people in places that are poorer than where you come from. Stop being bums. I know guys out here that are bumming around in Brazil that come from America. Take your ass home and get your paper up, get your life together before you come down here dragging these people down that they don't even come from a country as wealthy as yours. Period. That's it. I don't want no man, honey. I done already been married. I done been through the man thing. A man is the last headache I need. Okay, I don't want no man. I'm not out here looking for men in Brazil especially. I don't give a fuck about that. But, in the Caribbean, I had a man. Thank God I don't anymore. Okay, like nobody's out here wandering around looking for men or desiring men like that. Sorry. I know y'all think women can't live without you, but we most certainly can. And a lot more women are. So, but yeah, no, ain't nobody looking for no man. Oh, baby, by choice all day, all day. And, but yeah, all I'm saying is if you're going to be out here traipsing around on your passport bro stuff, come with it. Come with it. Make sure you're ready to be able to really take care of a woman, whoever you find, and do things correctly. You guys got to rewire your brain. I don't know why so many black men have been taught that they're supposed to be taken care of and that people are supposed to be slaving around y'all and taking care of you, and you just deserve that. That's what you deserve. You're kings. It's like, where's the kingdom if you're kings? Where are these things that have been built up so that we know that you are deserving of being treated royally? There is none. And so until you guys start proving yourselves as men, it's going to continuously be like this really laughable situation. Oh yeah, they can hate all they want. I will continue to tell the truth. That's what we do on here. I'm glad I don't do it that much. I don't come on live much. Y'all can hate. I don't give a damn. Because, honey, I live beautifully. My life is beautiful. I took my life into my own hands. I'm not no nigga slave up in no household, being castrated emotionally, spiritually, and in every way, being destroyed, being demeaned, being cheated on, being brought diseases. We ain't doing none of that over here. I have a beautiful life with beautiful children living in wonderful countries and places all over the world. And that's why I encourage more of you sisters to get out there and really live your real life. Stop looking for men. Stop trying to engage in these things with these men. All they do is take your life force and use it up, so you don't have no more to heal yourself. You don't have no more to build your life. You don't have anything else. They use up all your energy. And so that's why I suggest women, if anything you could do, steer clear and focus on, you know what I'm saying? Just focus on building your life up beautifully. Because life can be amazing, even as a woman that isn't engaging and all of that. We all need to work together, men and women, especially the black community. If not, it sounds good. It sounds good, Mac. Work together. I think black women, we've been trying to work with y'all for years. We've been dealing with your bullshit, trying to be in relationships, giving birth to your children, raising your children by ourselves. We've been trying to work with y'all. So you can speak for yourselves. You need to be talking to more men, because it's y'all that have totally jumped off the boat, off the ship. No, we black women have been trying to work with y'all. And what's really happening is that we're done. A lot of us are just done. So that's what it is. The chat's full of fellow miserable single, whatever, it doesn't matter. Y'all can say whatever you want. Miserable 40 plus. I know women that are younger than me that are talking the same shit in their 20s, in their 30s. Women in general just ain't with it right now. I'm a passport chick. Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. I couldn't care less about the dudes out here. So yeah, that's wrong. Do not care. And I've been coming back and forth to Brazil for 20-something years now, so it's like my second home. Yeah, and very happily single, y'all. That's what I say. And really, like, this channel, like, I talk to women. I'm interested in women. You brothers, you come on trolling. Some of you be cool, but some of you just be on here talking shit. And it's like, no one cares. So I really don't care about anything that you have to say. You know what I mean? There's just nothing about anything. There's nothing that I get from engaging with men mostly. You know what I mean? It's just there's nothing there. So I come on here to talk to women and tell women that they can get out here and live their lives even as mothers, as single mothers, and be, in the world, enjoying their lives, seeing the globe, connecting with different types of people, raising their children alternatively so their children don't end up gangsters and whores and drones and just fucking like AI robots, which is what basically people are just pushing out in the US right now, because everybody's on that one-minded, single-minded, very much brainwashed vibration. You can raise something different. Thank you so much, MJG, for being a new subscriber. Oh, no, I'm not bored at all, honey. I live in Brazil. I have a great life. I travel around. My life is great. You wish. You niggas be wishing. I found you today because the algorithm has been recommending Cassie and Diddy videos. Thank you for letting me know that. I've been fixated a little bit, too. You live in Europe? That is amazing. I used to live in Spain and France. Not too long, though. I only spent a few months in each one. I didn't really like it that much, but my girlfriend just moved to the UK, so I am vibing on maybe heading to the UK next. When after this stint in Brazil, we've lived in Brazil a few different times, but men can't live without women, and women can. And facts, Malika Diamond, that's a whole fact, okay? One thing I have noticed is that women be getting their ultimate glow-ups when they cast the men aside and move on and really, really get on with their lives, whereas the men be clamoring the sun, like they can't figure shit out. I'm like, I feel sorry for y'all. Cannot figure nothing out when they lose a good woman or when they just can't get one. The brothers be lost in the sauce, already so lost. And so that's the thing, you have to anchor into women to ground you. Or y'all just be like some wild cards wandering around like some damn zombies out here. I'm like, what is really going on? You think somebody's clamoring, upset, and sad because we don't have one of you? No, darling. No. I've had men, I've had plenty of them. Don't want nothing to do with it. Okay, I'm divorced and happily so. Me and my ex-husband, baby, we went into the divorce proceedings together. I was so, the court was like, y'all sure you want to do this? Because we got along so good. But I wasn't about to be his domestic servant. And he was from Africa, and I wasn't with it, and that was the end of that. And I gladly signed them papers and ain't looked back and would never do it again. So y'all really think somebody's out here dying because they don't have one of you? Nobody's tripping off that. Now I'm much older, but my grandma used to say, better to be an old man's, what's a SW? Oh, sex worker? What is that? What do you mean, SW? Pumpkin. Okay, let me see. She just completely ignored the fact that if women listen to her, that our whole species, that's all right. If the species is wiped out, what is that? Is that affecting you? What does that have to do? That doesn't mean women can't come here and have a good life just because y'all need us to give birth. That's not, no, 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 no. If men can't act like humans and engage in regular, non-savage social behavior with women, then we should not be procreating with you at all. Not at all. And I love people like Sinji who done been saying this. Stop giving birth to them. But I say just don't fuck. Don't even deal with y'all. Just keep to yourself. Keep your legs closed. Create a beautiful life for yourself. If the species die out, how is that affecting you personally? Y'all like to talk all this bigger picture shit, but then can't even do the small things right. Like actually be decent humans. No, 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 no. Women's bodies and beings are not just to be vessels for children, for people who act like savages. Okay? That's not it. And so the more we get realistic about the fact that women are not here just to be, to suffer, to do long suffering on the behalf of men. That's not what we're here for. So more women need to realize that and go and live their lives. Why would you go to Brazil? I don't know. But if you come out here, please don't come out here looking for women to take care of you, because it's stupid. And plus, these women out here, they don't even really, these women down in South America, they got, their men take care of shit. Like, especially like the white ones and stuff, like their men are running shit. Like, for you to come down here, especially if you're looking for an other, you know, if you don't want a sister, these women they don't study y'all like that, especially if you don't have money. So it's like you still need to come down here with something. That's all I'm saying. If you don't come, make sure you come with something. Oh, I'm not mad at all. I couldn't care less about men or what y'all got going on. You're judging the many men over them. I've met a lot, and I've traveled all over the world. Met a lot of men, and got a lot of sister friends who've met a lot of men. So, not really sure what you're talking about. That doesn't mean, I mean, clearly I don't know every man on the planet, but if you go from one point of the planet to the next point all the time, living, traveling, and rarely meet one that's decent, especially when they look like you, what does that say? That the numbers are not high. That's what that says. I'm not no regular person. I don't sit in one place. We can go into all of that. I talked about that earlier in this video. Kind of something about my travels and how I live and my lifestyle. Nobody's saying every brother is no good. But if I don't meet any that are decent, what is that telling me? I have two really nice brother friends out here. One is gay, and the other one is, you know, happily married to a Brazilian woman. Decent guy. He's rare, but he's a decent guy. You know, so I do know some decent brothers. I do. Nobody's saying everybody that we hate men. Is it worth the gamble of trying to find one that acts like they got some common sense and some home training? Trying to find, is it worth the gamble of that? I'm not sure. And so I don't suggest it to women unless you just really run into someone that you really have like this soul connection with that can keep it on a good, high, mature, high vibrational level. Just don't run into it much. That's all. You know, that's it. I don't hate men at all. I know some nice, decent ones. But is it worth the gamble and the Russian roulette of trying to figure out if one is going to be decent? I don't know. If women want to do that, they can. If they want to do that, they can. That does not mean, I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way doing it. If women want to do that, they can. I'm in Sao Paulo, MJG. Like I was saying earlier in the video, a lot of times I live up in Bahia when I'm in Brazil, but we have started to live in center in Sao Paulo more now because, I don't know, it's just, I like being in the city. It's, I mean, up north is really gorgeous. It's very like, it's very tropical, beautiful beaches, it's beautiful. But, and like a lot of black culture. It's amazing up north in Brazil. But we just like it down here, you know. It's like it's a lot of art everywhere. It's mixed. It's very international. So it's not just like one monoculture type of thing like it is up north, which is just like kind of black Afro-Brazilian culture. It's got everything down here. We got all the cuisine. The international airport is here. People from all over the world are here. It's just a vibe. And I live in it's touted as the best community and neighborhood in the city. And this is a big ass city. It's like 12 million. And then in the outskirts, it's like another 11 million.